Hi, I'm Laura Greaves, Executive Director of the Sarnia Lambton Workforce Development Board. Today I'm going to be talking about the work the Workforce Development Boards do, the data we collect and share, and how it can be used to support job seekers in their job search and their career planning. The work we do is funded in part by the Government of Canada and the Government of Ontario. The Sarnia Lambton Workforce Development Board is a local research agency that studies the labour market for Sarnia and Lambton County. We are one of 26 planning or workforce development boards across Ontario. We're referred to in both ways. To find your local planning board, you can visit workforceplanningontario.com, and I will throw that link in the chat. While I'll be sharing a lot of data related specifically to Sarnia Lambton, I want to let you know that the data for your region is available from your local board, and I encourage you to reach out to them directly. What do? We share local statistical and social data to help educate job seekers, employers, and others in the community on what will be required for our local labor market now and in the future. And what that looks like is conducting research on the labor market and then sharing the results as widely as possible. We sit on many different committees and do our best to get the word out as widely as possible. In order to conduct our research, we access government data. So from Statistics Canada, we get census data. We have the 2011 National Household Survey data as well, Canadian business counts, the results of the monthly labor force survey, and tax filer data. And we take that government data and we combine it with community data. So one of the things that we do is we run a survey every January called Employer One, where we ask for details from local business owners. We also have data from our WISL, or Work in Sarnia Lambton tools. I'm going to talk about those a little bit more in a minute. And we conduct consultations with employers, service providers, and educators to hear from them what is going on in the community. We support job seekers by sharing local labor market information that will help them make informed decisions in their job search and career planning. We can provide data broken down in many different ways. We have two main ways of talking about work: occupation and industry. This is the occupation breakdown from the last census for Sarnia Lambton. And these are our top industries by workforce size. Overviews are helpful, but change over time is often more helpful. These are the industries with the largest growth in the period between the 2011 and 2016 census. Business counts are also helpful for job seekers to understand. Are they looking for a job in an industry made up of a few large businesses or many small ones? This will help determine if the jobs can be found primarily with one main employer or with many different employers. Once again, overviews are helpful, but change over time is often more helpful. These are the businesses by industry with the largest growth in the past year. Alongside the government data, we also collect our own local data. Each year we run the Employer One survey and ask our local employers which positions they hired for last year and which ones they are planning to hire for in the coming year. We also ask about the top skills. Not all boards run the Employer One survey, but they all collect local data. You can reach out to them individually to find out how. In our survey, we also ask employers about recruitment methods. Word of mouth has always been our top response. This can be important information for job seekers, as it lets them know that not all jobs are posted online. Alongside online job searching, networking remains an important way of learning about job openings in the community. We also ask whether the positions that business owners are hiring for are full-time, part-time, or contract. This is important to know so that a job seeker's expectations are realistic. Are they hoping for full-time employment in an industry where that is not the norm? Obviously, you want to be able to give them the most up-to-date information. Are they hoping to work in an industry where employers have indicated that their positions are hard to fill? This can indicate an area of opportunity for a job seeker. Alongside the government data that we access and the survey data that we collect locally, we also access job demand data through our job tools. The tools work in two ways. They provide job seekers and employers access to a job board, job map, career explorer, career library, sector tool, and census tool. The tools also provide the local workforce development boards who run them with job demand data that helps us to identify in-demand jobs in our community. Not all workforce planning boards are using these tools, but most boards are. At their core, the tools work as a job posting aggregator. This means that they scrape existing job boards and pull information from the postings to be shared through each of the tools on our website. They were originally developed by Workforce Windsor Essex. Whether you are in Ontario or anywhere in Canada, if you do not currently have the tools in your region and you'd like to explore the opportunity, I'd be happy to connect you with Justin Falconer, the CEO of Workforce Windsor Essex. The tools were created to collect, understand, and share information about the local labor market. They're designed to make job search easier, increase referrals and applicants to partner job boards, and create valuable labor market information along the way. I'm going to give a brief overview of each of the tools and some of the different ways that they connect before discussing how we use the aggregate data. Our tools can be found on our website, slwdb.org, under the heading WISL, Work in Sarnia Lambton. We launched our WISL tools in June 2020, so we now have a year and a half of data collected. We currently pull job postings from 27 job boards. This varies region to region, depending on how many employers you have in your region and how many sites they are using to post jobs. As I mentioned, the tools are an aggregator, so employers do not post directly to our board. Similarly, job seekers don't apply directly through our site. The tool points you back to the original posting site and you apply directly through them. The tools are constantly scanning and grabbing job postings exclusively for our region. Each hour it adds new posts and it makes them available in one easy-to-search platform. This is what our job board looks like. Each listing on WISL displays a short preview of the job posting. If you'd like to read the entire post, you can either click on the job title or the Go to Job Posting link, and it takes you to the original site where the job was scraped from. Looking at the first job posting, if you click on the employer, you are taken to a page with information on that individual company, including their primary industry, their address, any other contact information that they've shared in the job posting, such as a website, a phone number, perhaps an email address too. On the left-hand side, you'll see links to further information, including a link to their active job postings, expired job postings, and job posting activity, which gives you a graph of month-by-month job posting numbers. This can be very helpful for job seekers to better understand the ebbs and flows of job posting numbers with individual companies. Do they tend to hire seasonally? At different times of the year, they may have more or less job postings. You can see that this employer, Burnham Orchards, tends to post in the late winter months and not over the summer. Obviously, the summer would be their busy season and they likely would have all of their staff hired in trade by the spring. Each industry will be unique, but this can help job seekers better understand the ebb and flow. Back on our job board, after the company name, we have a tag that says that this job is in demand. Any job that has this tag has shown up on our top job postings list. Then we have the date that the post was added to our tools, whether the job is full-time or part-time, whether it is temporary or permanent, and then the occupation. In this case, the occupation is general farm workers. If you click on it, you're taken to the career library. As you can see, the tools are all connected. I'll go into some more details about the career library in a minute. Back to our job board, you can filter and search using the bar on the left-hand side. The first filter is by occupation or NOC code. Next, you can filter by job type, whether it's full-time or part-time. And the next filter is by skill level. Skill level is a categorization based on the required level of education for an occupation based on their NOC code. This is probably a good time to mention that the current system uses the 2016 NOC codes. We are currently working on a plan to update to the 2021 NOC codes, and I suspect that this section on skill levels will be updated at the time that we do that. You can also filter by location, and you can filter by tag. This is kind of like a keyword. We've identified these tags as categories that we think job seekers will find helpful. We're continually adding to them. And finally, you can filter by language. If your job seeker knows languages other than English, this is an easy way to see if there are any jobs in which they can utilize that skill. Moving on from the job board, I am now on the job map page. The job map contains the same job postings that are shown on the job board, but mapped. Locations are marked either by a location pin with a briefcase to denote the site of a single job opportunity, or a circle with a number, which indicates an area with a given number of active job postings. You can scroll out to see the full map and all of the job pins, or zoom in to target a particular location. You can see here that I've zoomed into Sarnia and Point Edward. This is useful for job seekers who may not want to travel far for employment. They may not have access to a vehicle, or they simply want to remain within their community to work. The filter and search options available to the job board are also available on the map tool, helping to narrow and specify active job postings. So you can see the top one there is tags again. By clicking on a specified job posting pin, a text bubble pops up to provide a brief description of the posting. Not all of the information from the job board is available, but they can always click on the title or the Go to Job Posting link to see the full job posting. You can also see that below the description there are directions and 3 links: walk, public transit, and drive. Note that your location services must be activated in order to get the directions to work. You can see here on the screen, these are the driving directions from my office in downtown Sarnia to the location of the job posting. And here now I have the public transit directions. Once again, this can be very helpful for job seekers when they are thinking about getting to and from work each day. I want to make a quick note here about the job posting location. When an individual company posts a job, the tools will generally speaking provide the correct address to the work site, although the job seeker should always confirm that with the employer. When a job is posted by a placement agency, whether they are an EO, Employment Ontario funded, or a private agency, they may not always include the name of the company or the company address. This is something important to keep in mind. Speaking of services that are available in the community, in addition to viewing job postings, you can view the locations of employment service provider and training resources that are available in your community. Here you can see the location of apprenticeship training centers there in gray. Childcare and minding services are in yellow, and drive test centers are in blue on this map. Here I have the different levels of education. So we have the elementary schools, the secondary schools, our post-secondary institutions, and any other training facilities mapped. And here we have all of the local employment supports. Like the job posting pins, by clicking on any of the icons on the map, you will bring up a bubble with details about the facility, including contact information and directions to the location. You can see here we have Employment Ontario Services, Entrepreneur Support Services, Literacy and Basic Skills, Ontario Disability Support Program, Apprenticeship Services, Ontario Works, and Service Canada all mapped. Here you can see that I've selected a job posting. Just as it worked on the job board, if you click on the company name, you come to the company page. Once again, this page includes any contact information that is available. If you click on the industry name, you are taken into the sector library. The sector library includes information on the industry, including the NAICS code, and also a brief description of the industry. On the left-hand side, you can see the links to a list of regional employers and a link back to any active job postings on the job board. This is the list of regional employers. This is very helpful for job seekers who are interested in a job in a particular industry and want to see all of the local companies. Once again, you can see how all of the tools are connected. Next, we have the Career Explorer. The Career Explorer is a visual tool that makes finding information about career paths between jobs easier. When you select an occupation and highlight the job, you're able to trace and explore the occupations that lead into a given occupation, as well as the paths that are available as next steps following that career trajectory. It also highlights which of these jobs have active job postings on WISL. This tool links occupations to some career information in the WISL Career Library. This tool is automatically updated every day with new local job postings, making it easier for you to take the next step in your career. You can filter to sector so that you are only looking at jobs in an individual industry. Here I'm going to filter to healthcare. These are all of the local healthcare occupations. The dark blue circles indicate that the job is in demand, and the small numbers in the green circles indicate how many active job postings there are. I'm going to pick registered nurses as an example. If you hover over the bubble, you can see arrows pointing to and from it. Arrows pointing towards the bubble are jobs leading to that occupation, and arrows pointing away are possible job progressions. If you click on a bubble, on the left-hand side you can see a brief description of the occupation. Below you'll see arrows that expand information on the wage and salary, on the skills requirements, on the number of active job postings, and finally more information. The more information link takes you back to the career library. So let's look at that next. This is the front page of the career library. It holds information for every recognized national occupation. You can also search by occupation or filter out the occupations that are currently in demand in Sarnia Lambton. Each listing provides occupation-specific information, a brief description of the occupation, as well as alternative job titles that are used by different industries and employers. All active job listings currently available on WISL, and a list of local employers. Each listing also provides median income for each specific occupation, as well as a breakdown of salary levels offered in past and current WISL job postings. This is a useful tool for employers who are seeking to be competitive in recruiting and retaining local talent. The Career Library also facilitates exploring career paths. For each occupation listing, users are able to trace and explore the occupations that lead into a given occupation and the paths that are available as next steps following that career trajectory. This is the same information as is available in the Career Explorer. Again, as you can see, all of the tools are connected. If you choose to explore occupation groups, you can start from the one-level knock and make your way down by level. Each level provides an overview and links directly to the job postings in the job board. You can see that I've clicked all the way through to the 4-digit knock code, and I've picked nursing coordinators and supervisors. The alternate job titles list can be very helpful for job seekers to see that sometimes a single occupation can be listed in many different ways. As they are looking through job postings, they can always search in the career library if they are unsure about a specific job title. Now, on the left-hand side, there are a number of links. Alongside information about the occupation, you can see salary and income details and the skills library at the top. The salary and income details vary occupation to occupation, depending on the data that is available from job postings. This section can include local data. In this case, it does not. This is census data, you can see. Here is another example I'd like to share in order to show how it looks when we do have WISL data on the salary. You can see that for an allied primary health practitioner, we have a sample size of 4 salaries. The lowest salary is $90,000 per year, the highest is $106,000, and the average is $98,000. When we have the data, it is included here. Below, you'll see that the census data is still there too. Looking back at our nursing coordinators, these are the skills associated with this occupation. The skills library list can be helpful for job seekers who want to better understand what is required in a given occupation. It can also be helpful as they are looking to put together a resume. They can search for jobs that they have already held and use the list as a guide to help them build on the skills and knowledge they have. Of course, the list shouldn't be copied and pasted word for word, but as I said, it can be a helpful resource for them. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about the Census Tool, the last tool. If you're interested in any demographic information on your region, this is a very helpful way of accessing it. As one example, if someone would like to start a business and they need information for their business plan, this can help provide that very easily for them. Okay, so now that I've shown you the front end of the tools, I want to share with you some of the data that we can pull from them. This is a monthly report that we create to let us know about local job demand. You can see that this report covers December 2021. In that month, there were 2,456 total job postings, including 872 new job postings, and these postings came from 818 companies. Again, keep in mind that placement agencies are in here too. On the left, we can see, my mistake. On the right-hand side, you can see how the job posting numbers fluctuate month to month. We can track the total number of job boards where the job postings are being pulled from, and we see the post date timeline there at the bottom of the report. On the next page, we get into the details about the location of the jobs, the type, whether it's part or full-time, the duration, whether it's permanent, temporary, or contract. Then the bottom of the left-hand page looks at the breakdown by occupation and skill level. On the right-hand side, you have a list of the top hiring companies and agencies. The next page looks at the top hourly wages, top salaries on the left, and then on the right, the in-demand skills and the key job requirements. Once again, these are for overall all of the job postings for the entire month of December for the entire Sarnia Lambton region. The next page shows us a list of the job postings by 4-digit knock code on the left and 3-digit knock code on the right. It can be helpful to break these out because sometimes an occupation won't show up in both lists. You can see that retail salesperson tops both lists, as it usually does. Looking at the next knock code on the right, 421 is listed second with 113 postings. But on the left, it is lower because it's broken down into 4212, Social and Community Service Worker, and 4214, ECE. So once again, it can be helpful to look at both lists. Job seekers might get something out of each of them. On the last pages, we have the breakdown by industry. On the left is the breakdown by 2-digit NAICS code, and on the right, 3-digit NAICS code. Once again, the lists don't perfectly align because industries on the left incorporate multiple 3-digit NAICS on the right. So this report gives an overall picture based on all of the job postings. Alongside the general report, we can also run more focused reports. This is a report on all of the job postings in December for jobs in the healthcare sector. If you look closely on the left-hand page under the industry and sector filters, you can see that I have chosen one industry, and that is healthcare. On the right-hand side of the page, those are all of the total counts for the month for all sectors. So this is still very general information on the front page. But when we go further into the report, you can see that these numbers now relate specifically to the healthcare sector. So when we look at the job type, whether it's full-time or part-time, this looks slightly different than the general report did, and the job duration looks generally a little bit different too, and of course the occupations would look very different. Looking in that bottom left-hand corner there of job postings by skill type, you can see that healthcare occupations are number one, not surprising at all for jobs in healthcare. On the right-hand side, we have the top hiring companies and agencies. And on the next page, we have the top hourly wages and salaries. On the right-hand side, the in-demand skills specifically for the healthcare industry and the key job requirements. Not surprising to see that first aid is a key job requirement there. Once again, we have a list of the job postings by knock. On the left-hand side, the 4-digit knock, and on the right-hand side, the 3-digit knock. This is a report that we've run that looks to focus in one specific area. So if you look under other filters, you can see that under municipality, we've chosen the town of Petrolia for this specific report. There are 105 job postings that have been posted in the town of Petrolia. 42 are new this month from 43 different companies. Looking at the next page, obviously there would be only one municipality listed because that's how we filtered. The job type and job duration information is here, the job postings by skill type, the job postings by skill level, and on the right-hand side, the top hiring companies and agencies in the town of Petrolia. Again, we have the wage and salary data, the top in-demand skills, and the key job requirements are there as well. On this third very focused report here, I have filtered down to an individual occupation. Under occupation filters on the left, you can see I've chosen nursing coordinators, the same example as earlier. Looking up at the job postings by the numbers, 3 job postings in total for the month of December for this very specific job. On the next page here, all of the postings from this particular job took place in the city of Sarnia. The job type and job duration are listed there. Job postings by skill type. Obviously, this is a healthcare occupation, and so all of the job postings by skill type would be that single occupation. We have 2 different companies or agencies that have hired for this position in December. We have, unfortunately, no wage or salary data. As we know, when we were looking in the Career Library and the Career Explorer, there was no wage data for this particular occupation. And we have some limited information on in-demand skills and key job requirements here. So I hope that I've given you some food for thought in terms of how a workforce development board can help you access local labor market information to help in job search and career exploration. Please reach out if you'd like to learn more about in-demand occupations and industries, salary and wage data, skills and qualifications that are in demand, and job types and durations. The local workforce development boards are here to support job seekers with this kind of information. This is the end of the formal presentation. I want to thank you for being here and let you know that I'm available to answer any additional questions in the chat. Again, thank you very much.